my name's Larry Wood. I'm a licensed contractor. I've been a contractor since 2003 in the state of Florida. And I used to build homes. After the 2007-8 meltdown in the home industry, I was looking for something to do to provide for my family, and I got into the shed business kind of on accident. I went to a yard sale and bought a used shed, a 10 by 12, and I turned around and sold it on Craigslist and, made a little bit of money. And it was a good experience, and I thought, well, maybe there's a business in this. So I started shopping for sheds and finding and talking with people and helping them with some cash to buy sheds from them so I could turn around and resell them. And it worked out pretty well. I ended up getting my first location over on Memorial Boulevard back in 2013, and was really started growing. I got a cook dealership, started selling cooked wooden sheds. Was my first experience. Went through a lot of their training programs, but really good. And then we started selling metal buildings. We're already a contractor, pouring concrete for people, pulling permits. And that's how it kind of started out of necessity. But the shed business is a great business. We love it. We love doing it. Our mission is to get people into an affordable shed. So we think that everybody deserves to have their own storage unit at their home instead of having to go rent a storage unit that you have to drive to. And we've helped so many people fix their problems. When they have an issue, they need someplace to store, their garage is overflowing, they need a storage, for their kids, or they want a she shed, or they want a little craft room, or they want a home office, they build it out back, they make an office out of it. They're very, very, very versatile buildings. Shed4Less started in 2011. I incorporated in 2013, but we were in business. I had the brand name, had the logo design, had things like that, and was selling and got my first location. And then we've got 7 locations now, so we've grown quite a bit. It's a great company, and we've built it on the premise that we have a good teamwork. We want to be good leaders in the community. We want to treat people well, get them a great product, and help them solve their situation or their problem they're dealing with. Well, this shed right here is a 12 by 30, has a garage door on the front of it. And when I look at this shed, I think about a friend of mine that True Builders, his name's Mark, and he expanded his business from roofing and plumbing into the aluminum business. I sold him one of these sheds, and what he started doing was pre-cutting all the aluminum for an enclosure, for screened enclosures and stuff like that. And then he would stack it on shelves inside the shed. His installers would then come take it out, so they'd have a bundle to take with them. And that way they would cut more in the factory, store them in here so they didn't have enough room inside. So it was a working tool for him, and he ended up buying several of them from us, even some 14 by 40s he bought from us, and he's bought metal buildings from us. But the shed reminds me of Mark because he's just used it for his business and really helped him a lot. Well, it would have cost him a great deal more money. I mean, these sheds are portable, and if you spend, $10,000 or $12,000 on a shed here, to build that out in brick and mortar would have probably cost him $100,000. So it's a great solution. We're 170 mile an hour wind rated, anchored down, and meet all the state codes. So it really helped them. Another example was Lakeland Toyota. They own the Dodge dealership up on North 98. Well, they didn't have enough room for all their parts inside the parts department. So they called me, bought a 12 by 30. They built shelves in it and started storing their parts in there to repair cars with. And Lakeland Toyota is a huge company, and Lakeland Dodge, but really they use it to increase their business space without having to expand and build onto it. Plus, we set it within 2 days, 48 hours later after he called me. I had it delivered to him, set up, and they were putting it to use already. It's just fast, easy, economical, all the things that for good storage units that you want, All right, guys, this is a 12 by 30 shed here, like my friend at the aluminum company used. It's got a roll-up door on it. It has locks. You'll notice that it's got some aluminum extrusion here. This is to prevent water from intruding into your shed. really a great thing. They didn't have this 20 years ago, but it's an upgrade that we've put on the sheds as we've modified them. You know, all our sheds are put together with 3/4-inch sun-in roof decking for the flooring, 2x6 floor joists on 24-inch centers, 4x4 runners underneath it. When we set it up, we set that on top of 4-inch blocks and we anchor it down. They're 170 mile an hour wind rated. These sheds are built fantastic. But if you want to take a look at the framing here, you can see we use stimped and strong ties just like they use in a house. These are hurricane clips to keep from pulling the roof off if you get into a high wind situation. As I said, these buildings are Miami-Dade approved. They're 170 mile an hour wind rated. They're built phenomenally. You can see the trusses up here are built just like the truss in a house. We've got some little diagonal braces in here that help stabilize the shed when you're moving it, you know? So really, really a good product. I have a friend that has built probably 15 of them out and made ADUs out of them, additional dwelling units, you know? And so they're 24-inch on center, or we can get them 16-inch on center if you prefer. We can order them that way. But you can hang bad insulation right in these. You can wire them, drywall them, do whatever you'd like to do. We don't do it for you, but you're welcome to do it. And there are plenty of handymen that can do these type of projects for you. We permit the shed as a shed structure or storage structure. But once you get it, it's up to you what you do with it. And I know people that have built them out, a she shed. My wife has one, but I built for her a 12x32 10 years ago. Still got it. It's in great shape. You know, so they're very, very great buildings to do that. You just insulate the roof. We've even got a company that will spray foam insulate these for like $3.50 a square foot. They'll spray foam insulate it, and it's 20 or 30 degrees cooler when you walk in it in the summertime. It makes a tremendous difference. Then we just put a mini split in ours and it just cools it down like you wouldn't believe with some drywall, you know? So really great structure. Alejandro is a friend of mine and he has a lot of rental properties. And what he does is he'll buy a shed like this and he will build it out. He'll insulate it, drywall it, put some plumbing in it, and he'll make an actual efficiency apartment out of them and let some of the people and some of his workers stay in them. They're very convenient for that. I mean, they're perfect. As a matter of fact, we have one that will show you a video of this built out here with a restroom in it, drywall, air conditioning, mini splits, all that, and we'll show you that in just a few minutes. Paul is a friend of mine, Paul Olin, up in Kissimmee. I've sold him many buildings over the years, sold him some sheds, I've sold him some metal buildings, and he's used them for the same purposes, to store things in. He was an auto guy. He would store cars in his, so he would take cars and park inside of these things. And these floors are plenty strong enough to hold cars also. You can put a lamp on it, drive your car right in it. If you're leaving, if you're a part-time resident here in Florida and you want your 65 Mustang convertible to stay nice while you're gone, you park it in here, you close the door, you come back. When you're back in town, back it out and you're good to go. So they're very good to store automobiles, ATVs, motorcycles, anything like that. And that's what Paul uses. All these are built with pressure treated flooring. And as I said, you have a 4x4 runner that's pressure treated that runs the entire length. There's two of them. Okay, and that's the skids that they haul it with that rolls up on the rollers. Then you have 2x6 floor joists on 24-inch center that are all pressure treated. Then you have 3/4-inch tongue and groove plywood that's pressure treated. And all of that sits up off the ground on a 4-inch block when we anchor it down. So your floor is actually 12 to 14 inches off the ground. Moisture doesn't wick up into it because it's all pressure treated and you're high enough off the ground. So that used to be a problem in Florida. People would build with non-pressure treated wood, set them on the ground, they would rot out. We don't have that issue anymore. These things will last 30, 40 years. They're very, very solid. So if you look at the cost for a storage unit, to get this much space in a storage unit somewhere that you go rent to and you have to drive to, it's gonna cost you $400 a month anyway, right? This is sitting in your yard. When you look at the payment plan that we can get you, either through financing or through rent to own, which requires no credit pull at all, within 5 years on that rent to own, you own the building. If you pay for a storage unit for 5 years, And at the end of the 5 years, you don't own anything. You just rented your money away. With this, you're actually making the payment on it and you own the building, right? So this stays with you. It is a valuable asset. You can move it if you move, or you can sell it to somebody if you decide that you want to sell it, because it does hold value. You can soundproof insulate these very well. Like I said, the bad insulation does a great job, or you can put some actual drywall, or you can soften it with fabric, you know, like your soundproof insulation if you want to on the inside of the drywall. But they make great studios, they make great offices. I've converted many of these buildings just like this into offices at my locations. We've used them for years. I've got some of them that are 10 or 12 years old and still in very functional shape. You know, the drywall, we put vinyl plank flooring in them. They look like a little tiny home, you know, and they really, really work well. So for studio, office space, internet space, if you want to do podcasts, you want to do something like that, you can definitely do that right at your own house and have your own private space away from the house, away from the kids. You know, if you're trying to get that privacy, but you don't have to leave your home to do it. You walk out in the backyard, you go in there, you lock the door, you say, no, I'm working, kids. I got to have some time here, you know. But that way you can have that privacy without a huge build out cost to get it there either, you know. The sturdiness of these sheds are amazing. They are built with some great components. When you look here at this, you see how these 2x4s are T-shaped like that? That it forms almost like an I-beam in the corner, right? Okay, now the foundation of them, they're all strapped. They have 24-inch metal straps that run up each one of these 2x4s on the outside. You can't see it here. The aluminum's covering it on the outside, but that runs all the way down the stud and underneath to the foundation. So these metal straps are called Stimson strong ties. They use them in construction of almost every house nowadays. The wind zone here is 140 miles an hour in Polk County. These buildings are Miami-Dade approved at 170 miles an hour. They are extremely sturdy. They don't twist apart when you drive them down the road on a trailer. The screws don't come loose. They don't damage. They don't buckle. They're very, very solid buildings. And like I say, that they are the sturdiest buildings that I've seen. These buildings we sell are among the best buildings in the state of Florida. There's no doubt about it. Well, you can pull the permit yourself, but it's not as an easy process as people think it is. When you go there, you have to have a site plan drawn. You have to have your survey. You have to have a notice of commencement. You have to have a permit from the septic and health department place first before you go to the county to pull your permit. Then you pull your permit. Then you have to go record documents at the county seat. So it's not just one place, it's 3 or 4 places. Our permit techs do this all the time, and we charge a fee to do it, but it's not easy. We've had many people, we tell people they're welcome to do it. We'll get them the plan for the building, because the building do come with sealed registered plans in the state of Florida. They go down there to get the permit and they find out they got to do all these other steps. They say, I didn't know I had to do all this stuff. They come back to us and say, will you please get the permit for us? We'll take care of it for you. We can take that pain away. And we will gladly do it. We've got an expert. She's been doing it for almost 12 years for me now. She's phenomenal. She deals with the county, she deals with the city, all these local municipalities, and we pull permits all over the state of Florida. Like I say, we do hold a license, residential contractor license, and I also have a qualifier of a general contractor that qualifies my corporation. So we can pull commercial permits for you too, which is more costly and it's more involved. But we do offer that service as well. Hello everyone, this is Larry Wood at Shed4Less. I'm the owner of the company, but this is one of my sales staff here. Very, very good guy to help people through this process. Is Chris Bell, and I'd like to introduce you to him and ask Chris a few questions about some of the experience he's had helping customers like you. So Chris, what would you say your most memorable customer is or deal that you helped somebody with?
Actually, it just happened this week. One of the guys that bought a shed from me called me back because it was such a good experience for him that he bought a second shed from us. So he's having me deliver that to him just recently.
That's
So
awesome.
that just made me feel really good that I must have done something correct, that he would only come back to me.
Repeat customers are awesome. When I started this business, I had a lot of repeat customers for the same reason. You treat them good, you get them what they need, you help fix their problems, and they come back. They'll bring their uncle or their sister or their brother and say, "Hey, I want you to, meet Chris because he's helped me before." And that is a great feeling. It's a great feeling to know that you've really done something like that. And so, did you tell him what kind of delivery time are we looking at to get him another product out?
He actually had us postpone it. Usually we're within 24, 48 hours that we can deliver it, but he had to have an electrician. So we're very flexible on our delivery times to be able to accommodate the customers, whatever they need.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's great for our customers. And like I say, we will try and take care of you to the best of our needs. If you've got any family members that need some storage needs, please tell them about us. We'd love to meet and help each and every one of you. Okay, Chris, so this customer, there's a repeat customer. What was the use for the building that he got the first time? Did he have to share that with you?
Yeah, he did. He is a guitar. He sells guitars,
Okay.
but he also helps customers learn the guitar. So that's where he does his lessons, is inside these sheds that he
So
has.
he's made a little studio out of
He
one of the
did.
sheds, and he teaches guitar there and helps people with their guitar.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. I'd like to meet him, as a matter of fact.
I would too.
I need a few lessons myself. That's great. And what was the product? What was the use for the second shed that he's getting?
The same thing. That way he can have a lesson going on in one shed and it won't disturb the other customer. So he has another shed over somewhere else and he'll walk in between and the instruction.
Pound, and he's multiplying his business capability by having more space this year.
Absolutely.
That's a wonderful, wonderful concept, and I'm so glad we could help him out. That's a wonderful story. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
How did you come to Shed4Less? How did you find out about us? I don't even remember.
You don't? It was when we went to the, what was it called? At church, we had that dinner.
Oh, yeah, the Kingdom Builder.
The Kingdom Builders dinner. And I was looking to get out of teaching and get into something else so I could get my master's degree.
Yeah, and it's so funny that we grew up in the same neighborhood, too. I knew your sister, Charlie.
Yep.
In school, right? We're about the same age, so it's just really wild how that happened. Chris and I had met through the Kingdom Builders at our church function, which is Race City Church, and didn't realize that we had known each other, or our families, that we had known each other for a long time. I went to school, junior high school, with his sister, and we had grown up in the same neighborhood even. Chris had been teaching some. Why don't you tell us the story?
Yeah, I've been a teacher for 22 years, and God had led me to get out of that and into something else. And then I was a teacher at another place where they were taking care of kids with autism.
Right.
But it just wasn't the right fit for some reason. And then we were sitting at the dinner and you shared your testimony and I shared a little bit of my testimony.
Yeah.
And then Neil, one of the other salesmen, was just like, "Man, you need to come on here." And I did. I took a step of faith and stepped into this.
That's right, because Neil and you had met through Race City also.
Right.
It works for me. Neil's worked for me for the past 2 years. He worked for me one time before, years ago. So great guy. And I'm so glad that this has all worked out for your benefit, for our benefit, to have you on board with us as part of the team. And it's really been a good thing. God has really blessed us a lot, hasn't he?
Yes, he really has.
Certainly. Well, thank you. I appreciate the story. Tell us you got another customer that comes to mind that you might want to share a story about?
Well, actually, one came in yesterday again that was a referral from one of my other customers out there. So they had come in to buy a shed, but it was another person that I had sold a shed to that referred them to come to me to do the sale.
And so what was their use for the shed? Did they share that with you?
No, they were just trying to get the different sizes. They never had been here, so I walked them through the sheds to show them what it was all about.
Different shed types, different configurations, different doors, for whatever they're used to.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of configurations you can get these sheds in. We can get them any shape, size, configuration that you want them. So there is a lot of questioning. You got to find out what the customer's needs are so that we can meet that need. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
Chris, tell us about what are some of the biggest difficulties that customers have come in and shared with you that they're trying to overcome?
When a customer has dealt with permitting on their own, they found out is really difficult. And the fact that we can take care of all that for them is really something that really relieves them of all that burden of trying to get that permit pulled.
That is awesome. And we are a licensed professional contractor, and we have a permit service for people. We have technicians that have been doing it for years, and they do a tremendous job. My hat's off to them because they have the patience of Job. Believe me, they deal with the municipalities really well and get these things done for our customers. And it's very good when you do help a customer and they do see how quickly and concisely that we get the permitting done for them. They love it, and they say it's worth every penny of it.
Yeah.
A lot of them tell me that. But thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.